Welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday wherever you guys are at. First timers in here, let me teach you these three simple things real quick. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash a bell. We are here today for our matchup preview as we battle our longtime rival San Francisco 49ers tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We will be live for play-by-play, me and Graf. Y'all know how it goes. Game day. We're going to have a fun watch party as always. But without any further ado, let me bring my guest in. He's a content creator for the San Francisco 49ers. This is a guy that we've been trying to do this for quite some time, but this is definitely probably the best time to be doing this as we go into this preseason finale. So without any further ado, let me bring in CG Ruthless. Let's get this up on the screen. There we go. Guys, be nice. We know this is a rated channel, but please be nice. We're going to have some fun for a little bit. CG, welcome. First off, again, this has been something that we've talked about for quite some time, and now we finally have you on. So welcome into the vault, my guy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been quite a while. We've been kind of planning this for a while, but the schedule was kind of plans have changed here and there, but things have worked out for the better. Like you just said, this was the perfect time. And yeah, man, long time no see. I'm happy that you're succeeding on top. You went from the bottom to the top, man. I got to say, you're putting the work in, man.
I really appreciate that. Let's get into it. Let's talk about your Niners first. This has been the talk of your guys' training camp the entire time. You got two holdouts in Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams. Brandon Aiyuk, you've heard the reports over and over and over again. First, it was the Patriots or the Browns. It came down to the Steelers, but Aiyuk is still in Santa Clara. What's going on?
It's just something to do with the guarantee contract. It's going down between the contract is between $28 million or a little bit more from my understanding. But now that it's already coming to the final conclusion, but the problem is, I think he just wants a little more extra guarantee money or something like that.
What is it that has been offered? What was the last offer that you heard from the Niners front office?
We've offered somewhere near $30 million, from my understanding. Maybe 28 if I'm mistaken, but there's just been different reports out there.
So I want you to be honest, because I know you're a longtime Niner fan. Do you really think he's worth that money? Do you really think he's a true number one receiver?
I'll be straight up honest. I've said this on my channel before, and I'll say this again. Brandon Aiyuk is not worth $30 million. He's maybe worth 26 at best, man. But the fact that he's moving up his market value, that's probably where he's going to get a little bit of that extra money. But he's good on our offense, but what would he be elsewhere? That's the question.
I'm thinking from the standpoint, if he in fact was probably somewhere like Pittsburgh, that maybe they would look at him as a one. And I heard one of the trades, I want to say I heard this early last week, that one of the trade scenarios between the Niners and the Steelers would involve some draft capital, but also potentially trading tight end Pat Freiermuth. Were you aware of that at all?
I've heard some of those trade rumors. There was different possible trades, but the Niners were asking a little bit too much. They wanted somebody like a Mika Fitzpatrick in that package, but Steelers have said no. There was talks of maybe George Pickens, but I think Steelers weren't willing to do that. So, yeah, the tight end, the one that you're talking about, the tight end from the Steelers, he probably would have been a nice complimentary number 2 tight end behind Kittle. But, yeah, there's been different rumors. Even the Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns, man, I thought that trade would have been crazy. I would have took it in a heartbeat. A second and a fifth round? Come on.
What do you think right now as it stands with your other holdout in Trent Williams? How close are the Niners to getting a deal done? Do you expect to see him suited up week 1 against the New York Jets?
I think it's looking pretty positive right now. I think they're working on trying to get a contract done, but they're focusing on Aiyuk right now. But from what Deshaun Jackson just said, that he was on the phone with this guy, and he said that they should be expected for him to come right back to the Niners. But should he be good to go on week 1? I mean, even if you're 36 years old, right? who needs to go training camp and work out with this kind of body, man? If you're still playing at a high level, who needs all that workout, you know?
Didn't he just get a bag like within like the last, I want to say 2, maybe 3 years?
Yeah, he got some good guarantee money, but this year there's no guarantee money. But he is playing the full season with $22 million, but it's not guarantee. He wants guarantee money. There's a difference, but I think the Niners are going to have to work on that kind of guarantee money first.
What are your expectations for the 49ers going into the season?
I think the division's going to be a little uptight between the Niners and Rams. Do I think we still take the division? I think it's pretty much up the air, you know. If we can get these guys healthy, it's anybody's ball game. But I think we still have a chance to win our division, man.
Is Christian McCaffrey going to be ready come week 1?
Yeah, he's only just missed only a few weeks because of that hamstring, or what is it, the calf or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they were being more cautious with him, so he should play by week 1. I think we get a good chance to look at the other running backs on the matchup against the Raiders.
I'm looking forward to like what we have in front of us. I'm still a little nervous, but I'm also like very optimistic now that Gardner Minshew's been named the starting quarterback. What are your
Yeah. Let me ask you about that, man, because, you know, Gardner Minshew has been a quarterback that's been from the Jaguars and been going from the Eagles, and then he was playing with the Colts. So he comes to the Raiders. So I'm just kind of curious how it's going to work out for him, you know?
Yeah, and again, like Antonio Pierce made the announcement early Sunday morning. He said he was going to sleep on it. He said it was going to take a few days, but he literally slept on it and made the announcement late Sunday afternoon. It was announced, and pretty much experience played a role. His leadership. I saw something, or actually heard something earlier this morning on ESPN Radio New York where they were talking about Minshew. I don't know why they're talking about this in New York, but they played the audio clip of Gardner Minshew before that preseason game against the Dallas Cowboys and how he was firing up his teammates. And they're like, don't you think that had something to do with it as well? And I'm just like, really? We're going to go off on this? And, what's the over-under? They're going to win like 5 games for the season. What's your over-under? And, of course, they brought up the topic that they just can't seem to not bring up on the East Coast about, it's going to be a terrible season for them, and Tay's going to want out, and he's going to go to the Jets. Like, they need to stop. ESPN, and I've called you guys out on this several times. Stop. He's not.
Yeah, the rumors, man. They're just trying to clickbait all the other stuff, man. It's just nothing but talk, like they all say.
So I know tomorrow night we're not expecting, at least on our end, of seeing any starters in this preseason finale. Do you expect to see any of your starters out there for the Niners tomorrow night?
Yeah, I expect some of them to play. The rest of the guys, they're going to either rest. I expect Brian Purdy to play a series or so, from my understanding. Let's see. The receivers, Debo's going to play a little bit. Kittle's going to play a little bit. So you're going to see some of the starters play. As far as defense, I think you're going to see a lot of those guys out there, but not like Bosa or those other guys. No, they're not going to play. But I'm kind of intrigued to see how this Isaac Guerrero kid is, man. He hasn't played any other preseason game. He's coming off a hamstring injury, so I'm kind of curious how he's going to play. So he's going to make his debut.
I'm really hoping that you guys don't get overly excited. I know this is a long time rivalry. I'm sorry, and when neither one of us are in the Bay anymore. But if you guys have starters out there, and like I said, I know for a fact we're not going to have any of our starters. They're trying to go through some of the guys that we've drafted. JPJ is not playing. I know that. But some of our defensive backs, I don't think Tommy Eichenberg is going to be playing yet. I don't think he's ready yet. But like, I really hope that the Niner fans, what's the fan base? The Niner faithful.
The faithful, the Empire, or whatever you want to call it. But it's like, let me just put it this way, man. It's a preseason. Who cares? It's just more. I get it. It's bragging rights, but it's a meaningless game. You know what I mean?
Especially again, you just named a couple of your starters that you are expecting to see tomorrow. Like, I hope that the rest of the faithful aren't losing their minds or jumping up and down like they won the Super Bowl because they're going against like our non-starters. Like, I really hope.
No, that's to be fair, man. That's to be fair. But I think this is more like building confidence for us. You know, like, I don't look at this like, you know, for us fan base, we feel like it's bragging rights. But no, like you said, you're not playing your starters, so I don't think it's nothing to be excited about. Yeah, like I was talking to a couple of your fan base, and they were saying that you guys ain't gonna play none of your starters. So I'm like, man, I hope our fan base don't get too pumped up about that.
Like we know that there's going to be a split for between Carter Bradley and Nathan Peterman at the quarterback position. Like I said, I'm probably expecting um a lot more of our draftees, the UDFAs, and camp bodies because pretty much they're showcasing 4 spots on that 53-man roster. Like I would love to see Dylan Lau out there try to earn his spot on that running back depth chart. I have a feeling we're obviously gonna see guys like Sincere McCormick and Britton Brown try to earn that roster spot. We talked about it on my show a couple of days ago where I put out what in my mind was going to be the depth chart for the running back position. And I think that last spot for the running back position is truly going to be between Sincere McCormick and Britton Brown. Whichever one doesn't make the 53-man roster is going to the practice squad, and it'll be that they've been on the practice squad for 2-3 years already, which is kind of disturbing. But I definitely don't see both of these guys making the week 1 active roster. Not at this point in time, anyways.
Yeah, speaking of certain players, from an outside looking in, there's this kid that I actually had on my show, which he's actually was drafted by the Raiders, Trey Taylor, man. This guy, I mean, even from an outside, I want to see if this guy can make the roster or not for you guys.
The defensive back out of where's he out of Air Force?
Air Force, yeah.
He's definitely going to be a guy that to keep an eye on tomorrow night. Definitely a guy that's going to be showcasing for that roster spot. I see, like I said, I think DeCamerion Richardson will be out there. Like I said, Eichenberg, I'm not too sure of because he's been dealing with some type of foot injury. So I think that they're gonna just keep him off for at least for this game, and then let him get his work over the next couple of weeks. And somebody in the chat just asked, "Isn't Trey Taylor injured?" Let's check out ESPN real quick because I can tell you guys right now where they stand in terms of the injury report. Where is my Raiders on here? Come on.
I mean, yeah, he's a very cool, humble guy. I think I had Jeff Foreman, the receiver you guys got undrafted too. He was on my show during the draft.
All right, so Trent Taylor is questionable. Danny Gray is questionable. Spencer Burford, the offensive tackle, he's questionable. John Feliciano's out. Talanoa Hufanga, the safety, is on the PUP list. His estimated return date is actually tomorrow, so he's probably going to be out too. So that's currently well, actually, that's for you guys. I apologize. That's for the Niners. And then for us right now, as it stands, I see Brock Bowers. We already know he's not going to be playing tomorrow. Tay is definitely not playing. Like, it just says questionable for the two of them. But realistically, we know that neither one of them are going to be playing. So at this point in time, like, again, these guys are going to be showcasing. Who do you guys have as your quarterbacks? I know you have Dobbs. Who else do you have as emergency?
Brendan Allen. So Brendan Allen's our third string quarterback, and then we got this Tanner Mordecai. This guy is very intriguing, very mobile. I mean, one of those guys are going to compete for that third string spot. So, yeah, Brendan Allen's kind of been more of a journeyman quarterback, kind of knows the offense. And then you got Tanner Mordecai with the intriguing, like very athletic guy. I remember him out of Oklahoma, and then he transferred to SMU and then went to Wisconsin. So he's kind of been like one of those Ryan Fitzpatrick of college football.
So those that are in here, like a lot of you guys know that I cover fantasy football once the season's here, and we do our Sunday morning start 'em, sit 'em. So thinking about it now, might as well ask these fantasy questions. Obviously, CMC is a guy that everybody tries to get if they have the first overall pick. Do you have any concerns going into the season, or is this a guy that you still think is that solid first overall pick when it comes to your fantasy draft?
I don't think it'd be much of a concern, man. His injury was only for a few weeks. The Niners were being cautious. He should be expected to play on week 1. People may be a little concerned because the cover of Madden, maybe there's the curse, but we don't know what's going to happen, man. But if you feel like he's the guy, then you got to take him.
What about Kittle?
Well, Kittle's definitely a guy, but can he ever like he's only missed a few games here and there, but he's a dependable tight end, so you can't go wrong with him. But I would take Kelsey before I take Kittle personally.
So ultimately, the season starts in about 2 weeks, maybe
Yeah.
3. Do you? And this is like, be honest about this. Is Aiyuk there come week 1 against the Jets, or is he going to be traded to Pittsburgh by then?
To be honest with you, to be straight up honest with you, I don't really know what's going to happen right now. He can either be still holding out for all we know. He can sign the next day for all we know, or he can be traded the following week for all we know. So I'm hoping he would be there at week 1, but what's the chances? He's not getting enough practice with the team, so we'll see. But as realistic, he may not even play week 1. Who knows?
I'm like looking through this chat because I wanted to see if like you had any of your faithful in here right now, and I feel like it is just this entire chat, as always, is taken over by the black hole. Because what I would like to do, if you're up for it, and this is something that we always do on the show, is take some calls about this upcoming matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and San Francisco 49ers. Those in the chat, are you down to do it? CG, are you down to take calls?
Yeah, we can listen to the question.
Yo, give me some thumbs up in here, guys. And I definitely think you'll be able to hear once they come through. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you guys want to do it or not.
Yeah, no hard feelings, man. We can talk good football.
Let's do this. Do I just do it straight through? You know what? I'll do it straight through the phone. We'll get this done real quick. And I'm trying to check you guys in the chat. Heck yeah. Okay. Let me get this going. Sorry for the dead air, guys. You know I hate doing that. And I see Redbone with the thumbs up, so we're good to go. Just takes one.
Yeah, get them thumbs up like they say.
Let's see. Voice. All right, do not disturb is off. Sarah with another one. Okay, let's go. Let's put this up on the screen for you guys to see. Let's get this up. All right, here we go, guys. Call into the SeatGeek Vault line, 347-471-0361. You could ask CG. You could ask myself questions about this upcoming matchup. Let's get this going. We're going to do this for another couple of minutes. I think I told you guys the other day I do have a playoff game tonight. And in about another hour and a half. And I definitely got to get my mind right and get myself situated for that. Like, this is incredibly important tonight. Like, I really want to get this win. So yeah, call in CG. Where did you get those glasses at? Grandizer, I got the same ones. It's the Prime, the Blenders Prime. Oh
yeah, Grandizer is one of my followers. That's one of those. That's one of my followers right there. Yeah, he's a Dolphins fan.
Grandizer is a solid dude. He's always in the lives, always showing his support, even if I'm a guest on somebody else's channel. So definitely appreciate you pulling on up today, guys. Do not disturb is off. So let's call in, sound off. And try to run this for another couple of minutes if we can. And like I said, you guys see it right on the screen right now. The number is right there, 347-471-0361. What am I missing here? Just making sure everything is good, but we are good right now.
Yeah. Come on, man. Dial that number, man. Dial Hammer's number, man, so we can get a question in, man.
Let me check this out real quick because I do want to see your guys' schedule for the season and where you think you guys will ultimately, what your record will ultimately be. So you guys have, where is it? I just saw it. All right. So you guys open up against the Jets, which I think is going to be a very interesting game. The way that the Jets have been hyped throughout this entire offseason. I know that they have their own drama right now with the whole trading for Hassan Reddick and him holding out. What do you think ultimately, how do you think that first game is going to go? I know you guys are home, so obviously you should be favored. How do you see that game going?
We should be favored, but you don't want to sleep on teams like this. You know, we're coming off a Super Bowl defeat. This team's overhyped. Is Aaron Rodgers really gonna have something to prove because he's coming off of this injury? So this can be like deja vu once again. But yeah, like you just said, the Hassan Reddick drama. But what is this Jets offense going to look like against this Niners defense? That's what I'm kind of curious to check out. I want to see if this Jets offense is going to be really good because everybody kept saying, oh, this Jets team is stacked. They just had a quarterback issue because of the injury, because Rodgers was injured all season. They could have been a legitimate contender. Now we get to see what they do against an actual team,
So here we go with our first caller of the afternoon. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Camel, what's going on? This is Vince from Northtown, repping out of North Las Vegas. What's going on, yo?
What's up, Vince? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm about to start the work week. I just saw that you're online, so I figured I'd tap in right now. Basically, I don't know what the topic's on. I see that you got this 40 whiner on the pod. I don't know about how I feel about that.
So,
but it's all good. It's all good. But speaking, since he's on the pod, and I want to ask you both, what do you guys really think of Brock Purdy? I personally think, the brother, he can make plays, but he does have the best weapons at his disposal. He's got the greatest left tackle. He's got the number one running back. He's got a great wide receiver duo. You could put him top 3, top 2, whatever, and all-time, all-pro tight end. I noticed that last year when Debo went down, they lost 3 straight. I personally think, he's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I think those odds are going to even a bit, and San Francisco might surprisingly see some regression from the brother. I could be hating. It is what it is. Hey, I'm excited for the season. We got Minshew Magic on the center. Hammer, keep doing your thing. I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Take care. CG. I want you to take that first in regards to what he said in regards to Purdy and in regards to potentially seeing regression this year in the 49ers. So what are your thoughts in terms of Brock Purdy first?
Well, he's kind of proven to be a really good fit in this offense, but let's be honest, what is Joe Burrow without the weapons,
Yeah.
Have you seen the difference from when he has certain weapons? We can talk about Justin Herbert. How this guy's the most overhyped, talented quarterback, right? But he can't win games. But Brock Purdy has that type of talent too. But I can go on with the other quarterbacks, But I think to be fair with Brock Purdy is, there's nothing wrong with surrounding yourself around great talent. And without Debo, Debo was a huge force of our offense, he did everything. Trent Williams, I think Trent Williams was the biggest loss because we've played without Debo before. And we just didn't miss a beat. But if you lose Trent Williams, that offense starts to fall off apart, I think Trent Williams is the most important part of that offense because we've seen what we did against the Bucs without Debo, and we won because of the offense we played. But Aiyuk just looks like a stud because of Brock Purdy. Did any of our other quarterbacks make Aiyuk look good? I don't know what to say, man. You can say that the guy is a system quarterback in some perspective, but what is Jalen Hurts? What is Jalen Hurts around that Eagles offense?
System.
And I'm trying to keep it real.
No, he's a system as well. But it's funny because that was the one thing I was going to say as it pertained to Brock Purdy. Yes, he has a lot of weapons around him. And this guy is a 7th round pick. Nobody expected to see him do what he's done his first few years in the league. But he definitely is a guy that I think is most definitely, and this isn't an insult, this is like a reality in my opinion. I think that he really is a system quarterback. I think if he was anywhere else in the league, there's a good chance you probably wouldn't have even heard of this kid.
No, it's a fair argument. It's a fair argument for some of you guys to feel that way because, what would he be in any other offense? But the fact is he's in our offense, let's say this. What's Jimmy Garoppolo doing nowadays? He ain't doing nothing.
He's on the verge of being unemployed. I saw that video from Rams practice, their training camp 2 weeks ago, where he just threw a lame duck that was picked off, and I was like, I'm waiting for the news to just hear he got cut. Not to say that, we want to bring him back. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap. But I definitely don't see another team remotely taking a chance on him at this point in time, especially going into this the last week of the preseason, him playing, he shits the bed in their finale. He's going to be gone. At least that's what I think. I don't see him making that roster. And apparently, from something I heard earlier today, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, maybe somebody else can look this up for me. His suspension was reduced from 6 games to 2 games.
I think this is no wait. His suspension, I think it was originally like you said 6 games, but they reduced it down because he's a backup. I don't know what it is, bro. Maybe he must have got the treatment with Roger Goodell. Maybe Roger Goodell gave him a favor.
Oh my God. No. There we go. Guys, the line is still open. You guys see it on the screen. If you want to call in, we're talking the matchup preview, our preseason finale against the San Francisco 49ers, 347-471-0361. We've already been on a half hour. I haven't looked at anything else. This is not coming up the way I want it right now, but it is what it is. Okay, forget that. I was surprised Jimmy G got picked up. I think we all were, Sarah. I think we all were. AC said, Hammer, there you are.
I'm thinking the Rams are trying to get Jimmy because he knows the Niners offense. So maybe that's what the Rams are trying to do, because they're rival and maybe because he fits the offense the way they play. But then again, Stetson Bennett, bro, come on. I don't even think he's worth number 2 at this point, just because you won 2 game winning stuff against backups.
Yeah. Shout out to
5 interceptions.
Shout out to 10 Commandments on the $4.99 super. He said, and this is for UCG. He said ESPN's Bill Barnwell has Purdy at a 5-year, $325 million extension, which gets him $65 million per year. What are your thoughts?
Nah, even as good as he is, I don't even think he's worth the top pay contract, man. He needs to be like taking a team friendly contract. I mean, if you want to keep this team around, you're going to have to take a friendly contract. And if you want to be successful in San Francisco, you're going to have to do what Tom Brady has done, kept the team around and took less money. Yep. Just no offense. He's not what you call those other elite quarterbacks, but he's at least in the conversation if he does have another great year. You know what I mean?
Would you consider Brock Purdy to be a quarterback that is like ranked inside the top 10 right now?
I have him at least around the top 10. I mean, to be honest with you, you may even make it sound crazy, but I say he's number 5, man. The stats speak for itself. I'm talking about this season. I don't know how he's going to do this season. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he's top 5 in my opinion because he put up the numbers. Right. Like, maybe the argument of the games he lost, you can put it into the conversation that he's out of the top 10, but I think he's in my top 5 just based by consistency, the way he played.
I know you had talked about Herbert before, and I've said this to people even off the air. Like, I look at Herbert being Phillip Rivers 2.0.
He could be because he's a talented quarterback, but even with all that talent, he just hasn't really done nothing for the Chargers. But maybe with Jim Harbaugh, there's something going on. I don't know.
Maybe because look, he's had plenty of talent around him, but at the same time, between him and the talent, the Chargers can never stay healthy. There's always seems to be one of them going down, but numbers have been solid. Never saw him in the playoffs, so I'm just like, he's not that guy. I followed him throughout his collegiate career when he was at Oregon, and then once he ended up being a rival, I was like, nah, F that. I can't watch you no more. But from games I've seen, and even more when we play them, it's just like, dude, like, I'm not sold. And I've seen people even put Herbert in the top 10, and I'm just like, where, why, in what century? Like, I don't see him being a top 10 right now. I really don't.
I just think that he has all the tools and talented, but I don't think he's even considered a top 10 at this point. I mean, can he have a breakout season? Can he win games? Mm-hmm. We'll see what he does this season, but that's where I have my argument between Brock Purdy. He should be making the top 10 for others. If you don't think he's a top 5 quarterback, then maybe top 10 I could understand. But if you're saying he's top 15 or outside that list, then somebody's got to get drug tests.
All right. So for the rest of your guys' schedule this season, you have Minnesota in week 2 with now Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback. You still have those weapons, and you have Justin Jefferson. I have not heard anything. I haven't really looked for it either. In terms of Jordan Addison went down with an injury. early last week they said it was a leg injury, but they didn't have further details on that. But they also did sign Stephon Gilmore to a 1-year, $10 million contract earlier this week. Where do you see that game going? Do you see that a win?
Well, any given week, but I think this is winnable because the Vikings are kind of a young team and they're kind of starting from scratch. They're going with Sam Darnold, who we're very familiar with. And Vikings may have a solid defense. Yeah, their best weapon is Jefferson. If we cover him, then we got a chance. But you know how they say it's any given week, but I believe we can win.
You got the Rams, your division rival, week 3. Stafford's back. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it's a toss up. It's a really toss up. It can go either way. But I would say, so it's in SoFi Stadium, which we beat them the most. I say we get a win over them for sure.
I definitely like this. Yeah. I definitely like this matchup. This is like, for me, this is probably going to be the two that just go down to the wire at season's end to ultimately see who's going to win the division. So like, I'm definitely intrigued with this matchup. It's definitely going to be interesting for both of these teams this coming season. Then you go on to face the New England Patriots, which I just want to laugh.
Dog walk them. We're going to dog walk them pretty much. I'll just say that. We'll dog walk them.
Then another rival. You got back-to-back weeks with rivalries in week 5 and week 6. You have the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks.
Man, Cardinals do give us some problems, but I say if it's at home, we should be able to win. Seattle, we've been giving Seattle some problems recently, so until they get their quarterback figured out, I don't know, man. But they do got a really good. I think they got themselves a nice deep tackle, but that Cardinals team is young and hungry, so you never know.
And not the Cardinals, but the Seahawks just had a changing of the guard with their new head coach as well. So
it could be challenging.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. Week 7, you guys, it's a repeat of the Super Bowl. You guys have the Kansas City Chiefs at home.
That one looks like. This one's a game where we can't even get over them. So maybe this is just the way it's going to have to go. Kansas City's just going to whip us.
Damn, at least you're being brutally honest about that. I'm curious to hear how your fan base is going to react to that one.
Anytime we play Kansas City for a while, they've just been having our number. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong about this, but they've just been having our number. Those 2 Super Bowls and those other regular seasons, bro.
Right.
Not good.
Dallas at home for week 8, right after the Chiefs. Now, we know when it comes to the Cowboys, first off, we know the historical rivalry between you guys, between these two teams. Dallas is having a lot of issues right now as it pertains to paying their 3 top dogs in Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. Where do you see this game or how this game is going to go?
Man, they haven't really, looking into the Cowboys in the offseason, bro, I just haven't seen them do enough to where I'm like, you know what, this team's going to make a huge step. Nah, I haven't seen enough. Besides getting Eric Kendricks, who else did they get in the draft? They got a couple young players, but they got Jordan Phillips, but for what? He's probably just a rotational guy. They didn't make some splashy moves. So I got to say we're definitely going to beat the Cowboys, as much as I like to brag towards my family about it because they're Cowboy fans. But I just don't see the Cowboys kind of making that step towards us.
Next up, you have the newly re-signed Baker Mayfield and re-signed Mike Evans and the Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think the Bucks are going to definitely give us a good game. I think this is going to go down the wire. I think this Bucks team, I think everybody's talking about the Falcons, right? The Falcons and this other team taking over that South Division. Now, I think Tampa Bay's still going to take that division. I say we'll probably win by a skin of the teeth. I think Tampa Bay is going to be really good this year. They're going to be a lot better than the previous years. I think with Baker Mayfield building that commodity, I think that Bucks team is going to take it to the next step.
Back home the following week against Seattle.
I say we're going to lose. We're going to lose because I think Seattle's going to want more of that revenge, and we're probably going to get a little too comfortable because, playing Seattle's tough. So I hope I'm wrong about this, but I say we do lose to Seattle.
So you're looking at it like as you guys are going to split the series this year, the division series with them.
Yeah, I say we're going to split with Seattle because I think they're going to make strides and their